What are honeybees? Honeybee are a group of insects in the family Apidae, belonging to the Hymenoptera order that in a broad sense includes all bees that make honey. The scientific name is Apis. What are the races of honeybees? Around 20,000 species of bees have been described in the superfamily Apoidea. These all share a number of common traits that are unique to bees and separate them from the rest of the Hymenoptera. While ants and wasps are carnivorous in at least some stage of their life cycle, bees are completely herbivorous, deriving all of their nutrition from the pollen and nectar of flowers. An exception to this is when, under nutritional stress, worker bees may kill and consume bee larvae, thus conserving the protein. The anatomy of the bee is superbly adapted for the collection of their food from flowers. Africanized honeybees. Bees adapted to conditions in Europe faced fewer predators than those in Africa. The cold winters of northern Europe encouraged bees to gather excess honey for winter food and forced the bees to develop their overwintering strategy of clustering for warmth. These traits helped the honeybees to thrive in North America, but when they were imported to South America, they did not fare as well in the tropical environment. In an attempt to breed a productive honeybee that was adapted to a tropical climate, Brazilian scientists in 1956 imported colonies of Apis mellifera scutellata from Tanzania. In 1957, some of the bees escaped and bred with populations of European honeybees in Brazil. These hybrids became known as Africanized honeybees and thrived in the tropical environment. They quickly spread and have since moved through Central America and Mexico, effectively replacing most of the European bee stock in these regions. In 1990, the first Africanized honeybees were detected in Texas. In 2005, they had entered Arkansas, requeening colonies with bees of known gentle European stock. Basic facts of a beehive. The honeybee Apis mellifera has 5 eye. Honeybees live in hives. The members of the hive are divided into 3 types: the queen bee, the worker bee, drones. The queen bee. One queen runs the whole hive. Her job is to lay the eggs that will spawn the hive's next generation of bees. The queen also produces chemicals that guide the behavior of the other bees. The queen can live up to 5 years. She is busiest in the summer months, when she can lay up to 2,500 eggs a day. If the queen bee dies in a honeybee hive, the workers can create a new queen bee. They do this by selecting a young larva and by feeding it special food called royal jelly, and the larva will develop into a fertile queen. The worker bee. These are all female, and their roles are to forage for food, pollen and nectar from flowers, build and protect the hive, clean and circulate air by beating their wings. Workers are the only bees most people ever see flying around outside the hive. The average worker bee survives for just 5 to 6 weeks. During this time, she'll produce around 1/12 of a teaspoon of honey. Drones. These are the male bees, and their purpose is to mate with the new queen. Several hundred live in each hive during the spring and summer, but come winter, when the hive goes into survival mode, the drones are kicked out. Honeybees are fab flyers. They fly at a speed of around 25 kilometers per hour and beat their wings 200 times per second. The reason bees are so noisy is because they beat their wings 11,400 times in 1 minute. Bees actually have 4 wings. Only female bees can sting. Male bees don't have stingers. Honeybees communicate through a series of dance moves. Each bee has 170 odorant receptors, which means they have one serious sense of smell. They use this to communicate within the hive and to recognize different types of flowers when looking for food. Each honeybee from the same hive has their own specific color identification. To share information about the best food sources, they perform their waggle dance. When the worker returns to the hive, it moves in a figure of 8 and waggles its body to indicate the direction of the food source. Bees can sense the hormone a human gives off when they're scared. If they feel their hive is threatened, they'll attack. A hive of bees will fly over 55,000 miles to make 1 pound of honey and can create 100 pounds of honey in a year. The honeybee is the only insect that makes food man can eat. Honeybees are super important pollinators for flowers, fruits, and vegetables. This means that they help other plants grow. Bees transfer pollen between the male and female parts, allowing plants to grow seeds and fruit. Eating honey makes you smarter. It has an antioxidant that improves brain functions. Sadly, over the past 15 years, colonies of bees have been disappearing, and the reason remains unknown, referred to as colony collapse disorder. Billions of honeybees across the world are leaving their hives, never to return. In some regions, up to 90% of bees have disappeared. If you're itching to learn more, Visit the links in the description below to learn how to replace the queen to save the hive. And if that doesn't work, then you'll have to eliminate the dangerous beehive. Thanks for watching.